Hello and welcome to Bloodshed Restorations. I'm Alex and this is my next project. It's a bit of a personal restoration for me, or renovation. They're a pair of leather, I believe it's Halcyon biker goggles, and they come from my dad. He had them probably around about the 70s, so he tells me. The frame is bent. Obviously it does need a new strap, and it comes with spare lenses, two in a darker shade of tint and two in a medium shade of tint. These can come apart. I'll just try and hope you can see this there. All that is basically starting to delaminate, and it's like that with all of them, including the clear ones that are in it. So what I'm going to be hopefully trying to do with this, it's going to be a bit of an experiment, is put them in some warm water, boil them up very, very slowly, hopefully just enough to soften up the glue, and then try and part them. I'm going to be very careful about this. I know you can buy new Perspex style lenses, but I really want to keep this as original as possible. And what I'm planning on regluing them with is Gorilla Clear Glue, which is obviously good for glass, etc. So I shall carry on with the strip down. In order to remove the little strap brackets, you basically push in and that pops out like that. So it's a pretty simple operation. They are a bit stiff, and that one is a bit stiffer than the other one. There we go. And they just clip in to there and to there. With the strap removed, that means the lenses can also be removed then, because part of the actual strap fits the lenses in place. I'm going to be really, really careful with these. I can hear it creaking already. This one does appear to be slightly damaged, so I think that's why it's a little bit hard to come out. There we go. And the lenses basically just fit into this frame. Yeah, that has been damaged, with a little brass tab that just then folds around, and as you can see, the actual nose bridge metal bracket there, you can probably just about see it is pretty bent. It's held on with a clip that you just push up, and then that comes through that way, and also same for the other side. And yeah, you'll have a better view of that. So that'll just be cleaned up, and I'll get a small set of pliers on it and straighten that one up. Now that that's back to its bare bones, I'm just going to give the leather a good cleaning. I'm not competent enough to actually take the stitching apart and re-stitch it, otherwise it would be nice to get the frames off, but I'm just going to ruin it. All I'm using for this to start with is I'm going to get the worst of it off with a sponge and a very mild solution of washing liquid. That was about 10 minutes of very mild cleaning with it, and a lot of dirt has come off it, which I'm quite impressed with. The next thing I'm going to be using to clean it, once I've allowed that to naturally dry, is a leather soap. It's also known as saddle soap, and apparently it's very good for cleaning, softening, conditioning. I came up with a little bit of a brainwave in using the ultrasound cleaner I've got. It's only a small one, but it's ideal for the glass. And I know with my previous use with motorbike carbs and stuff, it really does seem to get into all the nooks and crannies. So I'm wondering if maybe using it this way, it might help loosen up some of the glue and soften it up a little bit first. Just a bit of a half-time update. The ultrasonic cleaner seems to be doing a good job, and the one popped apart very, very quickly. There. The downside to that is I think that the glue is also what gave it its tint, as that was one of the semi-tint ones. But at the end of the day, I mean, you can see how much that's shrunk. At the end of the day, they weren't any use anyway, and that seems to be the process of what it's going through. As the glue is heating up and the water and whatnot is getting into it, it's turning this funny colour and going a bit more rubbery. So I'll continue with that, and hopefully in a little while you'll see all of them apart. Once the glue was softened up, I just used a thin blade to gently get in there and prise the two parts of the lens apart. Really carefully, but it did work. The lenses have now had a really good clean with window cleaner and a microfiber cloth, and they've come up pretty well. As you can see, no streaks, no fingerprints as well, which is a big problem. So now it's going to be time to glue them. I've got these little plastic clamps. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the glue on first, squeeze it out and clamp it down, then leave them to dry. The leather's now had a good couple of coats of neat's foot for conditioning and revitalising it, and it feels so much better than it originally did. There's no dryness there now. Obviously the leather is a bit darker, but that's okay. As you can see, I've got the lenses back in. I've done a little bit of stitching on that just to hold it back in place. So the next thing is to put the clips back in, and they just pop back in there. There we go. And as you can see there, the inner part of the clip actually retains the lens in as well. There we go. So the next thing I've got to do is straighten that out and clean it up a little bit. Just using a little bit of leather to give it a bit of protection. Hopefully I'll be able to just do it by hand. There we go. The idea was to keep a lot of the original marks on there. Otherwise I would have just resprayed it and tied it up, but I didn't want that. I've just got rid of the rust. I'll give that a quick coating of light oil just to make sure the rust stays at bay. And then it's time to fit the new strap, which is just there. Unfortunately, due to wear and tear and a few cracks and a very mild little bit of cack-handedness, I could only save the 2 dark lenses and 3 of the clear lenses. So it is what it is. The main thing is that everything looks good now, but those were cracked anyway, some of them, so I would have lost that. The problem with some of these is that the retaining copper has actually broken off as well. So I'm going to have to look at getting some kind of replacement for that at some point, but I'm not unduly worried about this. So yep, I'll get on and fit the strap. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't done so already. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.